Well, bakers, we are in the throes of the holiday season and I am all about it. So this week I'm going to show you how to make Spritz cookies, the typical German cookie that we always see around the holidays. They're really popular in America because they're so delicious and easy to make. So here I have my stand mixer. You can do this recipe by hand if you want. But if you're feeling a little bit lazy like me, you can do it on your stand mixer. Now, make sure your butter is really lovely and softened. You want a nice soft butter, because making sure that that is the case means that they will be easier to pipe later. On our machine, we're going to cream this. We're going to add in our sugar. And this is a tip I learned from Ami, my culinary assistant. She's also the co-host with me on our Need to Know podcast, which you have to check out every Sunday. Put in your salt into your butter when making cookies, because then it creams like all the way throughout your butter and it gets everywhere. Sometimes she even puts it in the liquid of recipes, so it just like dissolves and it's just like everywhere. It's yummy. Now we're going to let that cream for around 2 to 3 minutes. You want it to get lovely and soft and whipped, because we want it to be a soft cookie to be able to work with. In this video, you're not only going to learn how to make Spritz cookies from scratch, but I'm also going to share with you my 5 top tips for piping cookies to make your life so much easier. Lovely. So now I just want you to see the consistency of my butter and my sugar, because this is what you're looking for. Light, pale, really thick and fluffy and whipped. You want to get it to this stage before you add in any of the other ingredients. If your mixture is not like this, your cookies will be very hard to pipe. So just give yourself the extra minute or 2 and get it to that stage. Once it is at that, we're going to add in our egg. This cookie is literally only a few ingredients. A little bit of vanilla extract. I like to use Rodelle vanilla extract. It's one of my favorites, especially when you have a kind of a plain cookie like this, where you know it's butter, flour, a little bit of sugar. Vanilla is so important. Now a little bit of cream, just a small splash in this cookie will make the cookie dough tender. And you'll notice when you bake these, they just crumble in your mouth, and the cream adds to that. I'm going to turn down my mixer and I'm going to slowly add in my flour. Just mix it in until it's just combined on slow speed. You don't want to beat it. And then off it goes. Look at that. So let me show you the texture of these cookies. Lovely, soft, lovely cookie dough. Beautiful. So this recipe, because of all the butter, is very akin to a shortbread, like the kind of shortbread that we would have in Ireland and in Scotland. Really just melt in your mouth kind of cookie. Now, you know, the holiday season can get busy. If you want to make up these doughs ahead of time, pop them into a bag in the freezer, and then you have them ready to go whenever you want them, then that is a really great idea. They bake up beautifully. So this recipe actually exists on my website, and it's a really popular recipe. The one thing that people had problem with was the piping of the cookies. Between the piping bags to the shaping or whatever, they had difficulties. So I want to share with you my 5 tips so you guys have success too. So tip number 1, make sure, and I go back to this, I know I already said it, a soft cookie dough. This is really important. Starting out a soft cookie dough. If you did freeze your dough, make sure it's been sitting out for a few hours at room temperature so you have this nice consistency, so it's easy for you to pipe. Number 2, a big piping bag that is really good quality. I'll tell you why. When you use poor quality piping bags, and I know because I'm guilty of this, that you know, this is not a firm dough. You want to be able, like, it's going to put a lot of pressure on your piping bag and they can burst. So please use a good piping bag. I use Arteco, and those are really good quality, and make sure it's nice and big also. Same with your piping nozzle. You want a big piping nozzle for this cookie. It's really important. If you do it too small, it's going to give you like too small of a cookie and it will bake up weird and whatever. So a nice big nozzle. My 4th tip, and this is an important one, I'm going to show you how to easily fill your piping bag without getting air bubbles in there. Roll down that piping bag. You can also do it in the glass like a lot of people do. Roll it down. Get your dough in as close to the nozzle as possible. Pack it in there. We're packing it in so we don't end up with big pockets for air to get into. As you pack and push it down into the piping bag, you can start to pull the piping bag up just like the way I'm doing. You see that? Keep on pushing it in there. Don't fill your piping bag with all the dough, just do half. so it's easier for you to work with. There you go. That's how you fill a piping bag with no air bubbles. That means when you're piping your cookie, you're not going to end up with like a blank spot where air could have gotten in. Now, my last tip is about the piping. Now, you can pipe these any shape you want. That is totally up to you. I like to do a swirl. So put your piping bag down just like that and do almost like a figure 8. Have your piping bag close to the tray, like half an inch away. Squeeze from the top like this and push the dough down. A very common mistake, and I see this all the time, is people going like this and piping. I mean, it's one of my big pet peeves. Why? Like all the dough is here. So anyway, just put your hand on the top and then just swirl it around just like this. Give your cookies some space because they will spread out a little bit. Now, as you can see, my dough is piping easily because it was lovely and soft. That butter was creamed well. And then just keep on piping. That's one tray. We're going to refill our bag and just continue on with the rest. It makes a big difference if you just take your time, have a steady hand. Use this hand to guide the bag as you're piping. Very last one. Lovely. Fantastic. Done. A simple Christmas cookie. Let's get them into the oven. They don't take long to bake. So you want to bake these cookies because we have 2 trays with the fan on, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius for around 12 to 15 minutes. You want to get them a light golden brown, but not too dark. If you do not have a fan, don't worry. 350 degrees, rotate the trays and try and get them as evenly baked as possible. Once your cookies have cooled, it's time to enjoy them. You know, this is a fantastic cookie to send to family and friends this holiday season, so put it in a nice tin, give it a little bit of love, and then give it to the ones that you care about the most. You can sandwich these together with a little bit of jam, or you can even dip half of it in chocolate. However you choose to enjoy these humble cookies, make sure they're part of your holiday season this year. If these cookies have you in the mood for some holiday baking, then stay put. I have hours of content for you to check out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back here again next week.